Schrock Innovations presents the Midwest's #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks. Welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion. Well, the guy all said it before here, but I'm just going to say it again. In Lincoln, 27th and Pine Lake Road. There's a reason I'm doing this now. This is important. In Omaha, 168th and Burke. That's Village Point South. Also in Papillion, on the corner of 84th and Highway 370, right behind the Kohl's Pharmacy there across the street from McDonald's. The reason I'm giving you all the physical locations is if you have purchased a preventative maintenance checkup certificate, now is the time to bring it in. The benches have all worked down their loads. We're in this weird low. We got all the back-to-school stuff worked out, and now we have this little bit of downtime before the holiday special gets going in about a month here. We have a little bit of downtime before the October update comes out in literally less than 2 weeks. I'm going to preface everything. When I give you the time frame for the October update, I am giving you the worst case scenario that it comes out on October 1st. We don't know the exact date in October this huge Microsoft upgrade is going to be pushed out to every Windows 10 computer on the planet. It could be the first. It could be on Halloween. That'd be scary. I'm here all week. Not really, just on Sundays. Oh, golly. But no, and you can join me if you'd like. 866-496-8772 is the number to call into the program today. And, of course, if you ask a question or make a comment, we'll put you in the drawing for the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. But when I talk about the October upgrade, and I tell you it's here in less than 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks, it could be 4 weeks, we just don't know. It could come as soon as the 1st of October. Also, if you'd like to watch the show live on Facebook, you can, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. We have the live stream there. The cameras are up and working properly today, so everything is back to normal there. It was a Chrome update that blew up the cams last week. I blamed it on Facebook. I owe Facebook an apology. Facebook, I apologize. But it was an update to Google Chrome that reset the privacy settings. See, Google really, really cares about my privacy. So the only thing I use Chrome for on this computer is this camera. That's it. So that, streaming on Facebook. So I don't have to mess with any settings and nothing ever gets changed. Well, thanks, Google, for changing that. They care so much about my privacy. They want to make sure they're the only ones who can spy on what I'm doing. And I appreciate that. Thank you, Google. By the way, Google put back the www back in the World Wide Web this week. Did you hear about this? It was in my list of tabs to cover here last week, but Google announced that they were going to take out, they didn't announce it, they just did it. So when you went to websites, instead of saying www.schrockinnovations.com, it would just say schrockinnovations.com in the top. Apple Safari browser has been doing this for a while. It gets a little more concerning, though, because if you go to a mobile website, you're used to seeing m.schrockinnovations.com or something like that that indicates you're on a mobile version of the website. Unfortunately, they'd also stripped the M dot away. So anything that was before the URL, you didn't know if you were on the mobile site or if you were on the full site or if there was a full site or if you weren't seeing the whole thing. It was kind of confusing. And then on top of that, people are used to the way that their URLs work and how they look. And so when you strip out a chunk of it and don't tell anybody, everybody thought they were on fake pages. Some people ended up on fake pages because it made it really easy to spoof things. So there was just outrage everywhere. So Google acquiescing to your demands has reintroduced there should be like a song, who put the no. All right. So they put the www back into the World Wide Web, but just until the next Google Chrome update. Now they're announcing they're going to take it away in the next update, and we're happy to talk about it before we take it away. But make no mistake, we're going to be taking your www away. 866-496-8772. So the benches are looking good. I think the Papillion Service Center has, as of yesterday morning, they took in a couple during the game, but they only had 3 or 4 computers in there. They have about 12 bench spots. The Omaha Service Center is about 50%, and they have about 40 bench spots, so there's 20 available there. And the Lincoln Service Center had about 4 or 5 open. So this is kind of a rare opportunity for you to get those computers in if you have those maintenance checkup certificates. We're open Saturday from 10 to 8 and Sunday from noon to 5 if you want to drop those off in the Service Center. All right, so we have a lot of stuff going on today. Let me just run through the list of stories we have. I already talked about the www, so that's coming back. Huawei is trolling the iPhone. This is hilarious. So Huawei is completely making fun of all the new iPhone models. If you missed the big announcement this week, it kind of came in the middle of the week. They introduced a few new models of iPhones. No real big, new, interesting, super sexy features. Just basically bigger and a bigger price tag. That's pretty much it. Let's see. There's also more 5G battles, and more countries are basically making decisions on whether they're going to allow Huawei's really, really cheap 5G towers into their country and allow China the opportunity to eavesdrop on all their telecom communications. Windows support scams. You've heard about these things. We talk about them every week, and I've had another request from my staff to talk about it again this week. If anybody wants to access your computer that you don't know, if it's your family and they want to remote in, that's cool. If it's someone at Schrock and you want Schrock to remote in, that's cool. If somebody calls you out of the blue and hits you with a scam. Now, I'm going to share a private story with you here, guys. Let me tell you how bad these things have gotten. My dad got another one of these scam calls yesterday. My dad's getting up there a little bit. And so they call his cell phone, and my grandmother had passed away a couple of years ago. Or a few years ago. And so they published an obituary in the newspaper, obviously. Grace Schrock, survived by son Alan, grandson Thor, great-grandson Jacob, those kind of things. So they call my dad up and they say, yeah, your grandson Jacob was on the way to a wedding in Colorado, and apparently he was stopped by a sheriff there for driving under the influence and has been arrested and is in jail. I'm the public defender, and I'm trying to get him out. They've set his bond at $6,500. He does not have that. He doesn't get any more phone calls. He called, basically talked to me. So if I don't know if it's something you wanted to bail him out, but it's $6,500, and I'd be happy to take care of that for you to make that happen here. But he's got a court appearance coming up tomorrow, and if we're going to get his defense prepared, we need to get him out so we can talk to him, which anybody who knows anything about the court system knows that's a complete scam. And so my dad's thinking, Now, I think my dad was just messing with the guy now, because he's like, well, I don't have $6,500, so I guess he's just going to have to sit in jail, So then he calls me and he says, Thor, where's Jacob? And I said, well, he's sitting right here with me and his mom watching TV. Oh, okay. That's what I thought. I got this call. And see, my son is 12. So he's driving to Colorado for a friend's wedding. And the thing that my dad picks out of that story to say, this didn't make sense, was, I didn't think too many of his friends his age would be getting married right about now. It's like, he's 12, Dad. He doesn't even drive, let alone drive to Colorado for a friend's wedding. He doesn't have any friends in Colorado. His friends haven't had time to move away yet. Come on. But no, so then they called back and they were like, hey, great news. We got him out. We were able to secure a zero bond release or whatever, and they made another pass for less money. And my dad's like, oh, I don't have that money either. And, and he's at home right now. And then they left him alone after that. So a lot of people ask me when they get these calls from Microsoft saying, hey, your computer's infected. You need to let us remote in and fix it. And then it ends up, they want $400 or $500. And if you don't pay them, they cause you all this grief. Well, how did they know I had a computer? Well, pretty much everybody has a computer. They're literally blind auto dialing people for these scam calls. So if you've never received one of these before, I've received them. If you haven't received one before, you will get one. It will happen. It's just a matter of when it does happen. Yeah, it's not going to be pleasant. So here's the deal. There's a new one that is being dubbed the evil cursor hijack. Yes, the evil cursor hijack. We're going to tell you about that, what to watch out for. And don't call the support number on the screen, because the support number on the screen is a scam. If you have a Mac and you have antivirus on your Mac, good for you. A very popular antivirus product is had a huge flaw that basically allowed anyone to do anything on it. So we're going to tell you about that, what you need to do to get that fixed up and set up. The new Windows 10 preview, we got a lot of the details about the October update are leaking out, as well as Microsoft's already working on the next one for next spring that's going to come out after that. Like I said, they come out every 6 months. So we're getting more details about what we're going to get here in October and the groundwork that's being laid for what's going to come after that. So we're going to tell you some of those stories here coming up as well. Also, one of those things, Microsoft's kind of getting they floated a trial balloon on this to discourage you from using other browsers. Now, when a tech company discourages you from doing something, that never ends well. Microsoft's had some experience with that, so we're going to tell you what the latest thing there is. And then you may have heard that Sprint and T-Mobile want to merge, and there's some concerns that if they merge up, Sprint and T-Mobile have a large portion of the low-income market. So if they merge up and become this big behemoth, they may raise prices on poor people for their cell phones. I thought, I don't know, I'm not going to go there. But anyway, see, I caught myself, the filter engaged. But but Sprint wants to put out 5G towers. They want to do it. And they're saying that they need this merger to make that happen. So what's in the balance here? I mean, normally I wouldn't bring you like a businessy story here on the air, but this one is pretty good. We're talking about whether or not the United States is going to lead the world in 5G technology like we did with 4G technology. And Sprint's basically saying if this merger doesn't happen, that ain't going to happen. So we got a lot of really interesting stuff going on today. And, of course, your calls as well, 866-496-8772. All right, so to kick off the show, guys, for those of you who are new to the program, or for those of you who haven't been here for the previous weeks before, I need to talk a couple minutes about this October update that's coming out in a couple weeks. For those of you who have heard this several times, please stick with me on this. I'll try to weave a few new details in so that it's interesting and new, because no matter how many times I cover this, there is more to be covered. All right, so basically, Microsoft pushes out a brand new version of Windows 10 roughly every 6 months, okay? The last one was in April. It was called the April update. This one is going to be out in October. They're calling it you got it, October update. All right, good job, guys. All right, so the October update coming out sometime in October. We don't know exactly when, so we're going to bank on October 1st, okay? The October update is a completely new version of Windows. This is not an update. This is not a service pack. This is a full new operating system. This is like when you went from Windows 7 to Windows 10. So here's the thing. One of the things that people don't understand what's different about Windows 10 yet, even though we've had several updates, okay? When Windows 10 first came out, the upgrade from 7 to 10 was free, and most people's hardware all worked just fine. There wasn't a lot of changing going on because Microsoft didn't want to throw any barriers up to people upgrading. Now what's happening is each successive upgrade of Windows 10 is causing more and more compatibility issues as they retire older pieces of software. For example, QuickBooks 2013 worked just fine on Windows 10 when it first came out. QuickBooks 2013 no longer is compatible with the current version of Windows 10. So the Windows 10 that came out 2 years ago is not the same Windows 10 you're using now, and the Windows 10 you're using now will not be the same Windows 10 you are using in October. Okay? So this is like you're getting a brand new version of Windows with all of the headaches associated with that. People have lost all of their data before during the upgrade. It's supposed to move everything over. If there's a hiccup while it's moving stuff, it just moves off into the ether and disappears. And the data recovery is complicated because you installed a whole new copy of Windows. You installed a new operating system on your computer after you lost your data. Of course, you didn't know you lost your data, but okay, whatever. Second thing, the computer reboots and you have a hardware incompatibility. All of a sudden, that old printer that used to work really well, or that scanner, especially that old printer that you loved that you didn't have the microchip cartridges in, where you had to go buy all this expensive ink. Well, that printer is no longer compatible now. You might be able to make it compatible if we do a couple backflips and jimmy rig a couple things, because, the guys at Schrock are good like that. Little baling wire and duct tape never hurting anybody. But you got to have somebody there that can do that kind of stuff. Otherwise, you're just going to be buying a new printer. Now, option 3, sometimes the update just doesn't take. And so what happens is, this happened to me in one of our data center computers. I installed the new version of Windows on the computer, and it didn't take, so it rolled back. And then every day after that, it tried to install it again and again and again. And it was like half the computer's life was spent in surgery while it was trying to install this update that just wouldn't take. So there's a lot of different things that can go wrong, from the most significant data loss all the way up to something more easily handled, like a piece of hardware or a piece of software that no longer works. Now, in the case of QuickBooks, there's nothing you can do. You just have to buy the new version of QuickBooks. We tried everything to make QuickBooks 2013 compatible for a customer in our Lincoln Service Center this week. The guys called me in. I worked on it for half a day. There was no compatibility mode, no options, nothing you could do. So here's the thing. These updates are going to happen, and we can be upset about it, and we can be frustrated by it. But the days of fire and forget operating systems, so the days of buying Windows 7 and then having something that works on Windows 7 and thinking that will always work on Windows 7 until it dies, those days are over, and they're never coming back. And you can't really stay on Windows 7 past 2020 because it's not safe anymore. So here's the deal. You're going to get the update. It's going to happen. You have no choice in that. It's automatic, and you cannot stop it. But here's the thing. We can mitigate the risks and the probabilities that something bad is going to happen to your computer as a result of the update. So we created a product called Schrock Safe Upgrade. What that product does is it installs the update for the Windows, the new version of Windows. I keep calling it an update. I should call it an upgrade. It installs this Windows upgrade in a very controlled way, the same way that a service technician would install it in our service center. So just listen to the laundry list of things that happen to your computer when you have Schrock Safe Upgrade. Number one, it tests your hard drive's health to make sure your hard drive is good. Number two, it installs all of your third-party software that's out of date. Even if you have an expired copy of Secure Updater, it basically revitalizes your license for 15 days to allow you a new trial to get all that stuff up to date. Next, it's going to check your antivirus software to make sure that it's operating and is good. You're not running junk like these poor Mac users here that we're going to talk about soon on the show. Next up, it's going to download the update from our fast servers. Now, we purchased 3 servers for the last update at Amazon. As you remember, people who bought Safe Upgrade last time, Microsoft really made that into it was a huge Charlie Foxtrot, let's put it that way. And we guided almost 1,000 customers through that mess. And it took a lot of time, and it cost us a lot of money to do it, but it was the right thing to do because our customers, our people, the people who rely on Schrock to keep their stuff working, had the best possible experience they could have had. So we got them all moved through that. Now, here's the thing. Then it installs the update on your computer and reboots the computer. And then if it's successful, it checks off done, good to go. Now, let's say something goes sideways. A piece of hardware stops working. Data is not where you thought it was. Something that worked before the update no longer works. These are all considered warranty situations if you have Schrock Safe Upgrade. Obviously, we're not going to do a whole data recovery under warranty, but if the stuff is in a different folder and we can find it and put it where it needs to be, that's easily done over the Schrock desk. So basically, if you want to think about it this way, it's like a Schrock desk warranty on something if it goes wrong. Or if the update doesn't take, then you can bring your computer into our service center and we can install it on the bench for you. Now, we charge $80 to do this on the bench in the service center. So you can bring your computer in. You can wait to hear, oh, it's October 1st. We don't know. You can't really bring it in on October 1st and just leave it. I suppose you could, but you wouldn't have your computer potentially all month. So you can wait till the radio show or you see it on Facebook and says, oh, the October update is here. Come on in. We can do that. But honestly, the thing that's best for you and best for us and best from a service perspective is if we do the Safe Upgrade because it's cheaper. It saves you $30. It's $50 instead of $80. You can do it at home on your own, and you can purchase it from the Schrock Innovations website at SchrockInnovations.com. Click on Shop and Specials. Now, we haven't even really started the marketing campaign for this yet. This is the first day that I'm really like, we need to start talking about this, guys, and get going on this. We've already sold 200 copies. You need to have a copy for each computer you want to update. Another popular question, Thor, I bought the last one. I bought the one for the April update. Can't I use that one for the October update, or do I have to buy it again? You need to buy the one that's for the correct update. You have to buy the one for the October update now if you want to do that, and you need one for each computer. So here's the deal, guys. If you go to SchrockInnovations.com and purchase this, I would recommend you do it. We're getting to the point where I'm going to start recommending you do it pretty quickly. Granted, we have 800 something left, or 700 and something left right now on the website, but once we start, we haven't sent mass emails yet. We haven't done phone calls yet to previous people who purchased. We haven't done any of those things yet. Once we do those things, that number is going to drop suddenly and dramatically. And why is it a limited number? It's limited because, as we all know, the last update, if you were listening to the program, was rough. And so if something like that happens, and it's really, really rough for a lot of people, if we sell 5 or 6, 7,000 of these things, there's no way my staff is going to be able to handle the demand for warranty support. if that happens. So we limit it to 1,000 because 1,000 customers, my staff can handle that over the course of a week. We can get 1,000 people through, get them all the warranty support they need so that everything is working fine again for you. So here's the deal, guys. Go to SchrockInnovations.com, click on shop and then specials. You can purchase the Schrock Safe upgrade there. You do have to buy it through the website because when it's ready to be released, it's an online service. We're going to send you an email that says, go to your Schrock account and download your Safe upgrade and run it on your computer. And when the update's available, we'll have that out. We have extra servers this time to make sure the download speed is nice and fine. We had some problems last time where the download, people couldn't download it because so many people were downloading it simultaneously. We've resolved all that this time around, so we won't have that issue again. But you can check it out, SchrockInnovations.com, shop specials. All right, got to take a quick break. When we come back from the break, Linda, you're the first caller on the program. Also, the Windows support scam, the evil hijack cursor, Windows 10 and Skype are teaming up to give you some new features. And your calls coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations Data Recovery Lab saves the data the other guys can't. The next time your hard drive, camera card, or flash drive fails, let Schrock get your data back. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs. And all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This Pro Tip 178. Those little life-saving surge protector strips are vital to your computer's health and should be used whenever possible, even for laptops. As computers get smaller and more powerful, they're also becoming more sensitive to dirty power, and your power is a lot dirtier than you might think. Even if you have a whole home surge protection, most power surges are generated within your own home. You've ever vacuumed and seen the lights get dimmer and brighter? You created a surge. Surge protectors can only absorb so much energy measured in joules. When that capacity is exhausted, your surge protector becomes a glorified extension cord and needs to be replaced. You should always look for surge protectors that give audible alerts when they're no longer able to protect your equipment. Schrock recommends these because the lights on most strips are just power lights and they don't tell you when it's time to replace the unit. If in doubt, replace your surge protectors annually to keep your expensive TVs, computers, and other electronic equipment safe. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
All right, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, where we are streaming online, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. And we are joined online by Robert Gerst, former Schrock Innovations employee. See what I mean? They can't stay away, guys. They can't stay away. 866-496-8772. How's it going, Robert? Haven't talked to you in a while. Haven't seen you since the 4th of July, actually. All right, so let's jump into those phones. Linda, you're the first caller of the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Well, I heard you earlier mentioning the fast turnaround time, and I want to give a shout-out to the Papillion store because I took mine in Wednesday morning, and I got a call early Wednesday evening and said it was done, and I was shocked. I thought, oh, boy, that's fast service, and I just wanted to say thanks a lot. That was great service.
Well, thank you, Linda.
And tell Nikki hi because she was very pleasant. I appreciated her help. So
that's awesome. Nikki's doing really well. She's our newest front desk addition in the service centers. And so, yeah, she came on board. Oh, my gosh, it's almost been a month now. And that woman is a dynamo. I mean, she is amazing. So we're very happy to have her. And thank you for the kind words, Linda. It means a lot to hear those compliments and hear it coming through. I've been spending a lot of time in the Lincoln Service Center because we have new staff there, and I've been training them up. And so I haven't had the time to spend in Papillion like I normally would, or in Omaha like I normally would. I've literally been in Lincoln 4 days a week, all day. And so those guys, as a result of their expert tutelage, are no, we have good people all the way around. But it's always great to hear that even when the boss is away, things are going nice and smooth. I love to hear that.
Yeah, it was great service. Thanks.
All right. Thank you for the call, Linda. I appreciate it. And I also got you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. You don't have to give us a compliment, but, it's like that guy in the Corona commercial. I don't always give a compliment when I call Compute This, but, but if you're going to call, you may as well. 866-496-8772. One of the things I want to throw out there today, too, is we haven't talked about this in a while either. It's so many things that have been going on that we've missed a lot of the basic stuff, but I haven't mentioned Drive Advisor. DriveAdvisor.com is where you get Drive Advisor, DriveAdvisor.com, Drive Advisor, like American. But if you go to DriveAdvisor.com, you can download this program that we made called Drive Advisor and install it on your computer. Drive Advisor is completely free. If there's no charge, it's amazing. It will watch your hard drive's health. And if your hard drive starts to die in your computer, it will automatically send you an email to alert you that your hard drive is starting to die. So that gives you the chance, while it's just starting to die, to get your files backed up. You can't do a full image backup, but you can at least copy your important files or pictures onto a flash drive or an external hard drive. Or better yet, you can get the whole computer into Schrock so that we can clone your hard drive. Because when a hard drive just starts failing, we can usually clone it. And that means we can copy it from your old bad hard drive onto a new clean one. During the football game yesterday, and I don't know if this is Compute This is recorded live on Sunday mornings, 7 to 8 a.m. If you want to call in, that's when you call in. It's re-aired at several times during the weekend in several different radio stations. But during the Nebraska-Troy game, 2 computers' hard drives mysteriously died. And I don't know if it was related to the football game or if it was completely unrelated to the football game. But one computer went from 100% health to 90% health in one shot. So I'm not sure what that was about. But, the thing is with Drive Advisor, it monitors your hard drive's health so that way if you have a problem, you get your data back and you don't end up in our data recovery lab. Our guys do great data recovery work. It is expensive, guys. Even at our rates, it's expensive. We charge about half of what you would pay at all the other places, but still, $800 is a lot to spend to get your data back. $400, $1,200. Drive Advisor can save you a lot of trouble. You can get it free at driveadvisor.com. All right, got to take our bottom of the hour break here. When we come back, the evil hijack cursor and the antivirus on Mac that's compromised. And it's a big one too. It's not like, MacSafe is compromised. No, this is you're going to know this name. We're going to tell you what it is. Also, Huawei trolling Apple. How very beige of you. Coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations repair technicians also make house calls. Make an appointment and let us bring our award-winning computer support right to your home or business. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed Symantec endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the specials section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. Get this pro tip, 423. Everyone knows you need an antivirus and firewall program for your computer, but which one is the best? Should you use the free ones, pay for a commercial product, or maybe even the free stuff your internet service provider gives you? The absolute worst thing you can do is to install nothing. Windows 10 comes with Windows Defender, but Microsoft never intended it to be your primary antivirus product. Free antivirus like AVG or Avast are more effective than Windows Defender, but Consumer Reports ranks the free antivirus products in the middle of the pack when compared to their commercial competitors. As for the free software from your internet provider, forget about it. It's designed to protect their network, not your computer. There are two products that trade the crown for best antivirus software year after year. Schrock recommends Symantec products like Endpoint, but the Russian-made Kaspersky antivirus program also does an outstanding job. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News Radio, I'm Carol McHugh. Torrential rains from Tropical Depression Florence are raising flood levels, including along the New River in North Carolina.
That river, which is normally flooding at 14 feet, is now over 19 feet, breaking the gauge. It's incredible.
Fox's Griff Jenkins in Jacksonville. Residents of the Boston suburbs who were evacuated following a series of natural gas explosions and fires last week are being allowed back home. The investigation into what triggered the blast has begun.
Well, I think a critical piece of information was released yesterday around the fact that the company knew that there was an anomaly in the line, that the pressure had increased. So the question is, how long did they know before the incident occurred? Was there time to pre-position assets in the area to start evacuations?
Former Boston Police Commissioner Ed Davis on Fox and Friends. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
The metro will stay hot for the rest of the weekend as temperatures climb to 90 degrees Sunday afternoon. You'll notice a few clouds around as well as wind speeds move out of the south 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday will feature warmer conditions, highs in the lower 90s, rain chances moving in for the week ahead. With Omaha's most accurate weather team, I'm 6 News meteorologist Peter Sherwood on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
All right, folks, welcome back in. Halftime already? Can you believe it? Jeez, I need you to call the radio powers that be. Tell them we need a second hour, okay? That's just how it's got to go. 866-496-8772. Before we jump back into computer stuff, real life stuff, all right? So we've all heard about, fake this and fake news and fake Facebook and fake Twitter and all fake everything, okay? Now there's fake wind. Fake wind. Now, I just posted this link on the Facebook live stream here. You can check it out at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. But okay, so there's this guy from the Weather Channel, right? And he's like in the wind. He's got his microphone in front of his face and his hand up over his eye, and he's leaning forward, reporting live from the hurricane. Wow, it's terrible. And while he's giving this like gut-wrenching, I'm about to be blown away into the ocean report, behind him in the background, two people just are walking down the street like it's just a sprinkle outside. Like he was completely faking being in intense winds. I'm just like, when you do stuff like that and it's the Weather Channel, come on, that's just bad. Okay. It's just bad. Why do you have to make it look worse than it is? It's just what it is. All right. So anyway, you can watch that video. I put a video of his report there on the Facebook live stream, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. 866-496-8772. That's the number to join us on the program today. Ask a question or make a comment, and we'll put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate that we give away here at the end of the show. All right. So Windows support scam, the newest thing, the newest trend coming out here is the evil cursor is what they're calling it. Windows support scam uses evil cursor attack to hijack Google Chrome sessions. So for those of you using Google Chrome, like I am right now on Facebook, if you use Chrome and you go to a website, what ends up happening is you know how this works. You get the pop-up on your screen. It takes up your whole screen that says, oh my gosh, your computer's infected. Call the 800 number, blah, 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 blah. This has been happening. You get them from Microsoft, quote unquote. You get them from Google now. Google has detected an IP address conflict, and call Google here. So whenever we have someone who calls the shop and says, I called Microsoft about my computer problem, we always know they called a scam number right off the top. One person literally called, I think it was Linksys, to get help with their router, and Linksys couldn't get the router working, so they said, your computer must be infected. You should call Microsoft. And they Googled Microsoft's phone number and gave them Microsoft's phone number. But the bad guys actually engineered their web page to show up in the first result position for Microsoft's phone number. When you Google Microsoft's phone number, you can't call Microsoft, okay? You can't call Google. They don't do it. That doesn't work that way. So as a result, you get these scam things. So in this one here, a warning pops up saying tech support to resolve the issue. The fraudsters do attempt to sell you, really bad, shoddy, not really even really antivirus software, or get remote access to your computer to show you how bad the infection is. In this particular scam, it's being tracked by antivirus solution providers, is now introducing a novel way to hijack your browsing sessions. They revealed the details on Thursday of an attack technique dubbed Evil Cursor. Bum, bum, bum. I should have saved this one for Halloween. The campaign redirects the users to a fake page that contains a new technique specifically created to work against Google Chrome Build 69. You find yourself redirected to a website. 16,000 malicious domains are attached to this campaign, so that's why they can't get ahead of it. Every time they shut down one of the domains, another one just gets used for it. The browser locks itself, so you can't close the window, which is pretty typical. It uses JavaScript functions to keep the browser windows open. And then the next thing it does is it prevents you from leaving the page by hijacking your mouse. You believe you're clicking on buttons to exit. You're clicking on the red X because the mouse goes up there and you're clicking on it. But as the mouse has been hijacked, you're actually clicking somewhere else. So when you click the mouse button, it jumps the cursor somewhere else and clicks and then jumps it back. So fast you don't even see it, but you're clicking somewhere else. And so basically the inclusion of a 128 transparent pixel turns the mouse into a large box, according to researchers, which fools the user into believing they're clicking in one particular spot or away from the session when they're actually not able to. So again, if you have something that pops open in a browser window and you can't close the window, Alt F4 on the keyboard. Alt is to the left of the spacebar. Hold down the Alt key, press the F4 key at the top of the keyboard. It will close all open browser windows. Most of the time when you get these pop-ups on your screen, you are not infected with anything. It is not indicative of any kind of infection. However, if you let them remote into your computer, they will most assuredly infect your computer with haste. All right, 866-496-8772. Next caller up in the show is Jacob. Jacob, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Hi, Thor. I was reading yesterday in the Wall Street Journal about the new Apple Watch and the features that it has to monitor your heart and your heart function, and also to monitor, sudden falls and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then it got me to thinking about the Allen Watch that I haven't heard you mention for a couple of years. The last update I heard that what you had collected, or people had invested, over 25,000 in it, and I was wondering that where Apple now has kind of taken over that idea, and will that Allen Watch ever be discontinued and those people get their investment money back, or
Gotcha.
Where do you stand on that Apple Watch?
Oh no, this is a great
endeavor.
Great question, Jacob. Thank you for the call. So I do cover this from time to time. Sometimes people tell me I haven't heard about that in a couple of years, but I have discussed it. Usually I get a question about it about once a month. But basically, the situation with the Allen Band. For those of you who are new to the program, a few years ago, my dad took a really bad fall in the house. And he was motionless on the floor for 24 hours, and he almost died because he was motionless for 24 hours. And the thought occurred to me as I was sitting in his hospital room, I don't want a watch that monitors when he falls, because everybody does that. I want a watch that monitors when he doesn't move, when he hasn't moved for a period of time, to send me an alert. And so we went about creating that watch. And in the beginning, it was a super easy thing to do, right? We're just going to create this watch that does this. And then how are we going to get the signals out? Well, we can pair it, like all these other smart watches pair with a Bluetooth connection on a smartphone. Then we had the challenge, most elderly people don't want or have smartphones. So, okay, next up we could pair it to Wi-Fi, but to pair it to Wi-Fi, you have to pair it to a smartphone first. Well, they could have their kids help them with that, I guess. Or we could just bypass the whole thing and make the whole watch cellular. So now we're just seeing the Apple Watches and the Samsung Watches coming out with the last iteration here with cellular connections, which is great. That way it has communication all the time. So basically we went into development. We opened up a GoFundMe, or not a GoFundMe. It was a Indiegogo campaign. And we raised close to $60,000 total, actually. And that was more than enough for what we wanted to do. So we were going through and we did all the development work. We had the images posted for it. We had the engineering drawings done. We retained a factory in China to make prototypes. Basically, we got them working on molds for it. We spent the $60,000 getting the production work done, because when you make a new device, most of the money actually, the device only costs about $50 a piece to make. Once you have all the legwork done, the R&D and the molds and everything else, it's only about $50 a device to make them. But it cost a huge amount of money before that to get it going. This was the first time that I had ever, and Schrock had ever, tried to do something on this kind of a scale with a cellular connection. Okay, so a cellular connection. One thing that we didn't realize and didn't understand apparently was when you're making a device with a cellular connection, even though you're using the same cellular radio that has been approved in hundreds of other devices, you have to get an FCC approval to release your device. Otherwise, the cell phone companies won't activate the device. If it doesn't have an FCC registration, we can't go get a partner in Sprint or a partner in T-Mobile or Verizon or somebody to provide service. Because here's the other problem. If it was going to cost $30 a month to have this watch connected to cellular, you may as well buy a smartphone for that price. So we needed something that was, they're not going to be using it for data. We need something cheap, like $5 or $10 a month, which is exactly what they did with the Apple watches and the Samsung watches. You can get them connected for $10 a month. So we contacted a firm that specializes in obtaining these clearances that are needed, and their cost to be retained and to march us through the multi-year process was $600,000 just for the approvals, just for the governmental approvals. Oh, wow. All of a sudden our 60 grand looks pretty paltry, and most of that's already been spent on R&D. So this is a problem. So basically, we came back to our contributors, and it wasn't an investment. That's the other thing too. This was a contribution. Basically, this was, there were rewards for contributing, but it was a contribution. So basically, we went back to our contributors and said, listen, here's what's going on. If we drop the cellular radio from the device, we can still make the Allen band. It just won't be cellular, which means it'll monitor you when you're at home near your Wi-Fi, or when it's paired with your smartphone and you're on the go. But it can't monitor you if you go to the grocery store, for example, and you don't have a smartphone. And overwhelmingly, the response that we got was no, not interested. I want the cellular component. We can't do the cellular component. Now we were at a place where if we built this watch without the cellular component, we wouldn't be able to sell it because we had to make 1,000 of them. That was the minimum production quantity to do this. So long story short, it is dead in the water. It's completely dead in the water. So if you have questions about contributions, things like that, you can always contact the service centers and we'll help you out with that. And any of the 3 shops can help you with that. But unfortunately, the Allen band is not going to be, because honestly, if we were going to make 1,000 units and we had to spend 600 grand on clearances, so when you're Apple and you're going to sell millions of phones, this makes sense. When you're Schrock and you're going to make 1,000 devices, this does not make sense, because the devices to break even, we would have had to sell them, because we weren't charging for the monitoring. So to break even, we would have had to sell them for like $1,500 a watch, and no one's going to spend that. It's just that's an unreasonable amount to ask. So unfortunately, that's what it is. But thank you very much for the call, Jacob. I appreciate it. Hopefully that clears it up for everybody else out there as well. All right, 866-496-8772. WebRoot antivirus compromised for Mac users. This came out here this previous week on Thursday, actually. Let me grab the right tab here. But basically, it's the WebRoot Secure Anywhere antivirus software. So WebRoot is a pretty big deal. WebRoot is, I believe, partially owned by Best Buy. So a lot of people who buy their computers at Best Buy end up with WebRoot because it's what's recommended. Same reason if you buy your computer at Nebraska Furniture Mart, you end up with that Secure IT software. That is substandard in my opinion, but I'll leave it at that. I don't want to get sued. Okay, so I had some other choice words, but I'll leave it at that. Severe memory corruption flaw permitted attackers to execute malware at the kernel level. In English, that means they could do anything they wanted to with your computer, with your Mac. A severe vulnerability discovered in the WebRoot Secure Anywhere antivirus software allows attacks to take place at the kernel level. On Thursday, researchers from the Trustware Spider Labs revealed the flaw which impacts the Mac OS version of the software. This is WebRoot's, basically WebRoot's version of Endpoint. That's the semantic endpoint is what we recommend for our customers. It's full-scale security at an affordable price, but it has a hole. The vulnerability is a memory corruption bug which is caused by an arbitrary user-supplied pointer which can be blah, 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 blah. Okay, the bottom line is they did patch it. So if you do have WebRoot antivirus on your Mac, make sure you do your updates. Also, this can only be patched if you're running High Sierra. If you're not running Mac OS High Sierra, I believe that's 10.8 or higher. There is no higher, but 10.8, you need to get upgraded to 10.8 as quickly as possible so that if you're running WebRoot, you can be protected. 866-496-8772. We're going to take our final break of the show. That Alan Band call went a little bit long, so I'm going to drop a break here. But so this will be the last break of the program. But when we come back, let's see, we have so much to do yet. Huawei trolls Apple. We got to get to that one. That one's hilarious. Skype and Microsoft are getting together to give you some cool text messaging options. Also, Sprint wants to merge with T-Mobile to bring 5G to the United States in force, and South Korea says nah to Huawei. All this stuff is going on. It's all crazy, and we're going to bring it all to you next in like 12 minutes on Compute This.
Update all of your third-party apps on your computer with Secure Updater. It keeps all your apps running smoothly and helps block viruses. Download it for free today at secureupdater.com. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases, even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually, or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
All right, guys, welcome back in. Final segment of Compute This. 10 minutes. Start the clock now. All right, let's jump into the phones. Marge, you're next up on the program. How can I help you on Compute This?
Hi there.
Hi.
I bought a maintenance checkup certificate 6 months ago.
Okay.
Actually, the date was March 18th, and I'm wondering if I can still use it.
Gotcha. In March, they're good for 6 months. So you have 2 days to use that. No joke.
Okay.
No, seriously, like 2 days. They're good for 6 months. So if you bought it on the 18th of, you said what, of March?
Yes.
Yep. So you have until September 18th to use it. So it's good though that the benches are pretty clear right now. You get right in.
So I could bring it into the Burke Street suite today.
Absolutely. On Saturday we're open from 10 to 8, and Sunday we're open from noon to 5.
Okay.
All righty. Thank you, Marge.
Be there today. Thank you so much.
Sounds great. So there you go, guys. If you bought one of the previous maintenance checkup certificates in like March, April-ish, it's time to use those. You're literally like days left. So great. Thanks for the call, Marge. Also, email here from Greg. Greg writes, I choose the Lincoln Service Center because my boy lives there. I live in Alliance, Nebraska, on the other end of the state. I listen to your program on the radio and on iHeart. Can I purchase your October Windows update if I live outside of Lincoln? Of course. That's one of the great things about the Schrock Desk. If almost any problem that you're going to have, we can address through the Schrock Desk. Aside from like a complete bricking of the computer where it just won't boot, then obviously that's not something we can handle on the Schrock Desk. But that's going to happen to you anyway, with or without Schrock Safe Upgrade. But all the other potential things that can go wrong, we can actually fix through Schrock Safe Upgrade. We can do it through the Schrock Desk over the internet. So if you are not geographically close to one of our service centers, if you're not near Lincoln or near Omaha, near Papillion, all of our Des Moines listeners, welcome aboard, by the way. We'd love to have you on here, WHO in Des Moines. If you're in Des Moines and you're hearing this and you're thinking, golly, this sure would be great, you can absolutely go to SchrockInnovations.com, click on Shop and Specials, and purchase a copy of the Schrock Safe Upgrade and run it on your computer in October. We will help you out with the same level of support we give to all of our listeners here in Nebraska and Iowa. Also, we're kind of on WHO for a reason, guys. There might be a service center coming near you, and your purchase decisions on the website will help determine where we put the service center. So if you want it located close to you, this is your chance to vote. Votes only cost $49.99 plus tax. 866-496-8772. Okay, so Huawei, they make phones, really, really nice phones that are very, very inexpensive, but also Huawei is a Chinese company, and so there's a lot of concern because in China there are laws on the books that basically say if China comes to you and you're a company in China and they say we need to know X, Y, and Z about person X, Y, and Z, you have to tell them. You have to give them the information. So China could literally go into Huawei and say we want to have access to all the telecommunication records for everyone in the United States, and they would have to give it. And there's similar laws in Russia, which is why now if you work for the U.S. government, you cannot run Kaspersky on any computer that is remotely connected to the U.S. government. Kaspersky is a Russian-made antivirus product. Therefore, Russia can compel Kaspersky to give them access to your computer if the need would arise, or maybe not direct access to the computer because most antivirus doesn't do that. But you get the idea. Information about your computer, your browsing history, things along those lines. So basically then, Apple comes out with new phones, good stuff, right? Huawei comes out and says, this is so very boring, very beige. That's what they called it. It's very beige. They've beiged up the iPhone. And then in a later tweet, they thanked Apple for not changing anything so they could be the true heroes in December when they release their new phone. Oh, golly. In a series of tweets, Huawei not only suggested that Apple presented a beige incarnation of the phone, but that its own new phones would be, well, beyond intelligent. This seems to mean that they'll be filled with such sophisticated artificial intelligence that humans will not even have to think anymore. The tweets didn't mention Apple by name, but offered Apple-style visuals that were obviously Apple-targeted sniping. Thanks for keeping things the same, one wrote. See you in London. Thank you for supporting us as innovators, said another, which enjoyed the graphic from Apple's event invitation. There was thanks for supporting us as innovators. You get it? Like, you didn't change anything, so therefore when we change everything, you're helping us be innovators. Thank you for that. Then there was this positively insulting, thank you for letting us be the real hero of the year. Oh, golly. Their phone is their flagship phone is called the Mate. I don't know. There's a lot of questionable things that come out of China marketing. For example, Asus makes amazing products. We love Asus laptops. We love Asus motherboards. They have a white box option, right? That is not Asus, but it's kind of the dumbed down version that's cheaper. And they didn't want to put the Asus name on it, so they called it ASRock because it's solid like a rock. ASRock. Say that out loud to yourself, please. See what I mean? They don't think of these things, I think they actually call it ASRock now because they phonetically say it. Because if you say it as it's spelled, it means something completely different. All right. Also, following along the Huawei train here, South Korea Telecom snubs Huawei in 5G equipment selection. We talked about this last week with other countries. I think it was Australia last week. The United States the week before that is telling the Huawei that you will not be building out our 5G infrastructure in our country because we can't trust that you're not going to tap into all of our phones. because the Chinese government can tell you to do it. And then if you can do it, you will do it. And trust me, there's always a way to do it. So South Korea Telecom announced that Samsung Electronics, Ericsson, and Nokia will be its preferred bidders for 5G equipment. South Korea's largest wireless operator said it took a long, multifaceted review before the selection and chose these three companies due to their leading technology, the fostering of the ecosystem, and for financial reasons. There was intense speculation that South Korea Telecom might name Huawei as one of the preferred bidders. The Chinese tech giant has been embroiled in controversy in Korea, much like the U.S. and Australia. Thank you for that. However, the government has said it has no plans to block Huawei from bidding. While we're not going to block you from bidding, you're just not a preferred bidder. So feel free to waste your time. You can put a bid in, but you're not a preferred bidder. Yeah, so that's fun times there. Oh, golly. So let's see. Then also, it's, as long as we're talking about 5G, I love how it's all stringing together here at the end. Now, Sprint wants to merge with T-Mobile. And like I said earlier in the program, Sprint and T-Mobile provide low-income phones, basically. Their service is very inexpensive. It doesn't have the best coverage sometimes, but it's very inexpensive. I mean, I'm a Sprint customer, and I got Sprint way back, like 2 decades ago, when cell phones were still kind of new. I was a Sprint customer, and I got such a great deal on a locked-in plan with them, I never left. Like now I get free nights, free weekends, free cell-to-cell calling, unlimited, unthrottled internet, as well as, I mean, imagine that when 5G comes out. If I still get unlimited, unthrottled internet, wow, I'm never giving that plan up ever. And I've got like, it's the company plan. So we've got like 7 phones on it, and I pay for like 7 phones what most people pay for 1 Verizon phone. So it's a great plan. I'm never leaving. They've tried to entice me away with like, we'll give you like all new free iPhones if you come to this new plan. I'm like, no thanks. No, long-term win here. Well, Sprint wants to merge with T-Mobile because together, the two of them say they have the financial wherewithal to push 5G, accelerated 5G, across the country. The executive chairman of the board of Sprint said that the combined company has the spectrum assets, that's Sprint, and the financial strength to move the U.S. ahead in 5G. Believe it or not, the U.S. actually did really well in 4G. We were an innovator in 4G technology, and 4G came out right after the iPhone did. So you can imagine an iPhone or a smartphone now without 4G internet. If everything was still 3G, how slow all the apps would be. And when 5G comes out, it's going to open up so many new opportunities for the economy, for jobs. They want to open like 500 new stores too, along with this when they merge. So anyway, keep your eye on that merger, because if that Sprint merger goes through, we're going to be getting 5G a lot faster than we would otherwise. All right, today's winner, $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate, is Jacob. Congratulations, Jacob. My son's name is Jacob. That's a good name. And we will be back here again next Sunday for another exciting edition of Compute This. Stay tuned for the Aftershock coming up next, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations.